Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, hanging out with these nerds.
The Nerdarch.
Like I said,
We are here once again for our weekly live chat.
so we have Dave back from Origins. I imagine at some point in time you're going to be able to, give us the rundown of the good, the bad, the ugly.
You get nothing.
I'll just get it from Doug.
Oh, son of a bitch, I've been defeated.
Because I have ways around you.
You do. So we are attempting to find the comments right now on this device, this here device, but for some reason, it is not doing what we wanted to do.
Unfortunately, Kyle has to, be at work at this point in time. So no assistance today.
No assistant. So with that, we'll just move along, and at some point, hopefully, I will finagle getting the comments to the device. It might be that we have to log in, so that could be part of the problem. But in the meantime, what we got on your list to cover, Ted?
Well, we really didn't have a whole lot going on with the live chats.
We had world building.
We had world building. We had some stuff going on, so we can get into the couple guests that we did have this particular week. With you being out at Origins last week, Nate and I were free from the live chat and left to our own regular lives. So we didn't do the announcement of what this month's giveaway is. So we have that to get into.
Hold on. Ninetales 1717 demands a shout out. He's actually been waiting for a couple hours in the chat. So what the hell? What's up, brother? Thanks for waiting for us.
Awesome.
So, okay, you were saying something?
So we didn't have the
Quick, interrupt him.
we didn't have the giveaway announced last week. We can do a recap, or Nate can talk about how his game went.
Giveaway, you say?
I did.
What are we giving away? Well,
I can do a recap of my game.
we got all kinds of stuff going on. Actually.
All right, well, I played my game recently for the fans last Saturday, and it was a lot of fun. We did Spiders from Mars, which is one of the previous month's Patreon awards for the encounter, and I added a little bit of my own pieces that I had a vision for making that encounter a larger adventure, and that's what we ran. And people had a lot of fun. They were in space, but not in space. It was interesting. Had more of a fantasy feel.
So
people out of their normal environment fantasy feel.
So you didn't get into the whole space and vacuum and that kind of stuff.
No, I feel like I described space a particular way that left it up to their imagination.
Nice.
On what it was. Is it a weird illusionary box thing, or is it,
Any further bugging us for shout outs will result in us billing you for a super chat. I took part in that game. You guys didn't know, but I was actually listening a little bit while I was driving home from Origins.
Yeah, it was quite a drive, but you filled the time.
They've made it back for Father's Day.
I did, barely. I made it back at like 5:30 in the morning, and then slept until like noonish or something. Got woken up by having like this really weird, strange dream. And then it also almost became like a prophecy this coming week. Hey, someone wanted to know, does Nerdarchy guys play Magic the Gathering? These nerds used to. Does that count?
Yes. I spent many years and way too much money on that, as you can gather from my collecting habits. When I get into something, I get into it.
Yeah, we started in revised, so 3rd edition for Magic the Gathering. Played off and on throughout all the editions, and
played up until I think 7th, and took a break for a little while, and then me and your friend went camping, and he's like, "Oh, I started playing this game," and like that hooked me for another 6 months, and within the last year, I decided to kind of purge, and I started getting rid of a lot of my cards. I got rid of about 95% of the collection, and
You like bought a car or something, didn't you?
yes.
Yeah. See, get into Magic. It's like the stock market, but for nerds.
yeah, I don't know who it is, but there's a guy who runs this channel, and he treats it kind of like what's up, what's down this month kind of thing.
As the cards. That is kind of interesting.
Because some of them hold value for a long time based on when they can be used and what editions.
Well, it used to have a certain price range, and you could count on certain things. Like there was always the $30 card in a set, and it's like, okay, what is it? And then someone would uncover a new combination or a new way of using a couple cards together, and it's like, oh, well, all of a sudden this card becomes the hot card, but $30 was still the cap. And then, all of a sudden, like I got out of it, and the market completely changed, where it's like, oh, well, this is a brand new set, but prices are through the roof.
I had found a junk binder of stuff that I had not sold you, because I sold Tim my cards a while back before he got out. So I got out first, got a clean break,
and Nate got them good too.
And I had like a stack, like a little binder with them all in little plastic sleeves. It's like, I gotta buy all the new 5th edition D&D books. Let me see if anything's worthwhile. And some of the stuff that I thought was absolute junk, I bought a PHB for free pretty much with it. So I mean, even the stuff that I had lying around that I just found, because of the age, and also some of the cards were in print at the time and being used in a successful decks. So that's enough mention gathering off to the side. But yeah, so we used to play. We don't play anymore because we have way more stuff to spend our money on. That is not a card game.
that is not a crack in cardboard form. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Now for me, it's like cracking paper and plastic form.
Yeah, but that's all job related. You're fine, Ted. You're fine.
Although I guess Magic the Gathering is job related too. It all depends.
Yeah, that's true.
How you want to go about it, that's all. All right, let's see. I was just trying to switch accounts to actually be looking at the chat as Nerdarchy. We'll see how successful I was. Oh shit, it's on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the chat is going. Oh, so something cool happened in Timmy's game.
Okay.
So the dwarf cleric was not there. I forget what god he worships, but it's like a god of Al in battle. He was not there, so I was like just kind of being facetious and messing around. He's like, what should Thor do? I'm like, he should pray for divine intervention. And he gave him a 1% per level chance of it happening. And he got the 07. I believe it was an 07. I took a picture. I screenshot it. I've been meaning to share it. I just haven't gotten around to it. So we had divine intervention happen, and basically what happened was like the holy picture appears in above, and just a deluge of Al sweeps through the enemies, and it like does a bunch of damage and so it takes away all these benefits that monster had, like its resistances and stuff like that.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool. Timmy is like, you got to tell the other guys. I'm like, I will if I remember.
And now it's been told.
Well, divine intervention.
That was Tuesday.
Divine intervention is that you get 1% chance per level that you can call on the god once you hit level 10, and if it works, it works, and then you can't call on that god for a week.
I know they're asking a question.
On a D20. Huh? I thought it was a roll on a D20.
Nope. Percentile.
Sounds exciting.
I know percentile is very exciting, especially when you have to roll like an 01 or 00 and you get it.
Oh yeah, well yes, it is. Yes.
So Miss Phoebe, is that how you say Phoebe?
PHOE.
Sure. All right. Then Nate's like, whatever. 59. Which alignment is Dave? My characters I play, or me personally? I think I fluctuate between chaotic and lawful. I'm actually both at this. I'm chaotic lawful. That's what I'm going with. I'll stick with that.
You have your order about you, but then you also have the offshoots.
Yeah, I can go kind of crazy. Yeah.
So chaotic neutral, that covers everything.
Might be.
He can follow the rules, not follow the rules. Yeah.
You never know what he's gonna do.
I have my own code. Then I follow sometimes.
So that'd be chaotic good. Yeah.
Doug, true neutral, maybe. I might be true neutral. That actually might sum it up.
Well, you don't believe in the balance. You're just kind of in there, and you kind of go all over the place.
I am the balance. I don't have to believe in it. You are.
I think he's overall good, but because he's not lawful enough, he's chaotic.
So you're going neutral good.
I guess we could go neutral good, but that doesn't.
Alignment should be a spectrum anyway, like the autism spectrum.
Well, yeah, but what do you always go back to? So yeah, sure.
It's like neutral good is being good for good's sake, and I don't think that's Dave. That's Dave.
Well, it's like a code of conduct that he holds himself to, and it might not necessarily be just the laws.
This is where I think the alignment system kind of
breaks down.
when you try to apply it to real life.
Son of a bitch! It'd be so much easier. We could just apply everyone had a little thing like a pen or something floating over their head. Lawful good.
Then we can start smiting them with good sticks.
Good sticks, huh?
Yeah, the ones that do extra damage, like 2d6.
Hey guys, have you ever used the mass combat rules for 5e? We have not actually used them in our game. We did some mock stuff with them for fun, but we have not actually messed with them per se in our games. It has not come up. I don't think we would anyway. Like, I think especially me and Ted, we're more likely like to narrate and create little encounters and scenarios to plop into the game instead of doing that.
There's other ways to talk about what's going on. You don't need to get into dice rolling for things that are not essential to the story.
I used it. I used it until they got into an encounter with a whole bunch of necromancers summoning an undead Trina. So once they found that, that went into a battle, and then the rest of the battle was kind of shunted to the side. So up until then, I had groups of psionics using cantrips on things. I had groups of rangers setting traps and stuff and messing up different people. And I had some fighters on the wall. So, and then I had the adventuring party doing their own kind of thing, being their like separate from units.
Yes.
So, but once they encountered a unit, they had to decide on how they were going to deal with it. And I narrated a lot of. I kind of took the average of damage for everything else. So I didn't roll 20 dice. I didn't roll. I just took like kind of the average for those things. So I used them in a way. And then as soon as they got into a specific encounter, I dropped the whole fight except for what was going on with them.
Nice. So do we have any upcoming guests this week, Dave?
We are working on upcoming guests this week. I've had a bit of a con burn. I have to, and also we had like a lot of stuff going on family-wise that has kind of distracted me from that. But I am working on that. This weekend is actually what I'm going to be working on for the next couple of weeks, is trying to fill up the guest slots. So, hey, and if you know of anybody you would like to see appear on, reach out to us and them, and maybe we can have some things happen. I was actually messaging with Cameron from Of Dice and Men. He's actually the writer, one of the actors. So I'm trying to get him to come on. And we gave a list of people from Origins to reach out to. One of the ones I wanted to reach out to is in Ireland, so I'm like, maybe I should wait. So she's not in Ireland anymore.
Now, what about the list I gave you?
What list did you give me?
I messaged you. There was.
I think that answers that.
Well, back in the day when we played Heroescape, there was a sculptor that we both followed by the name of Leaf.
Yeah, that was pre-Origins, and that has been deluged away in a mind-numbing experience of Origins.
Okay.
It'll have to go.
He's
back
got conitis, so he can't.
So I should definitely put him on the list. I believe his real name is Travis, and based on the research I did, like he sculpts every day, so like that's his gig. So it shouldn't be all that difficult to see if we can carve out a small section of his day to come hang out with us.
Yeah, you should reach out to him. You're a former customer.
So are you?
I never actually purchased anything from Travis.
Oh.
I've received Travis's goods. That is not actually being a customer.
Well, you're the end result customer.
Well, yeah. I think it was a Christmas present for Heroescape. It's this awesome cave. I don't know if you guys remember Heroescape or not, but we used to play a lot. And Leaf Kicker used to be the guy that would make a bunch of custom stuff for that game. And like there was this like big cave structure that I think I got for a gift, as well as some like cannons, which were pretty cool.
He made a bunch of different stuff, and then once Heroescape kind of went out of production, he kind of like, well, I'm going to go off in another direction. So now he does a lot of stuff with Magic the Gathering deck boxes.
Actually, Godly Darkness I hope you guys know I picked this over Critical Role reruns. You actually, now I feel bad. I feel like there's a lot of pressure now on us to perform.
Well, thank you very much.
We do appreciate you coming and hanging out with us. So we are a little bit closer to reaching our goal of getting out to LA. So that's really cool. You guys have been helping out with that a lot with the GoFundMe campaign, which we really appreciate. But we still got a ways to go. So if you guys can share, please do. If you haven't given yet and you can, please do that as well. Or just share it out. So that all that helps.
Link is down below. Greatly appreciate it. Anything and everything you're able to do.
Also, all the links for everything we've done throughout the week, right? The videos. We have upcoming Kickstarters are in there.
No, this week there's nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
There's no Kickstarters going on. Right?
There's no Kickstarters that I felt were really worth getting out there. Nothing that's specifically RPG related
that he knows about.
that I know of.
Yeah, you better put that caveat in there.
Yeah, I'll put that caveat in there.
Otherwise, they're like, if there's any Kickstarters going on right now, that
you've gotten Ted's thumb down.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, he probably just doesn't know about you.
There's none of that. We had to trim down the list. Probably because the amount of awesome articles that are going up on the website, and there's only so much space that we can put in the description down below. So we had to streamline that process. So Dave was like, all right, I got to put the kibosh on all these off-kilter stuff. So the thing literally pared down to last week. There was one, and that campaign was over, and I had to take it off.
Oh, I would like to mention too the triumphant return of our gameplays has returned after a long hiatus.
So for those of you who have been asking about it or mentioning it, it has finally resurfaced. I believe the one that went up today was my game.
Yes,
and that was from over a month ago at this point in time.
Yeah, it's been a little while. We have several others in there. So Spider 34, I pledge the Zombicide Green Horde. It will end on Tuesday. So generally the Kickstarters are all RPG related, the ones that go in there. So I don't know if that is actually RPG.
Zombicide is a board game.
Is a board. Oh, okay.
Adventure game. I actually have a Zombicide figure over there because it's
so far away.
It's a wizard. It's like, all right, I gotta get this guy.
Spencer Smith. Hey guys, I've watched your videos for a long time. I love the concept. I was hoping you had some suggestions for me. I am trying to build a campaign and feel a bit overwhelmed. Thanks. Well, it is overwhelming, especially if you're going like, I have to build the whole world.
Everything.
Start with a town. Start with a village, a hamlet, anything.
Build out as you go. Like, if you want to have an idea of what your world is, okay, are you looking for something more like Eberron or something more like Forgotten Realms, somewhere in the middle? What makes your world unique? That are going to help you, and then start small, and as your players investigate and explore the world, you build it based on what they observe and what they see, and you'll be able to get out there and do it without like, oh well, I need to create an entire globe, put all these places on the map, and have that accomplished before session 1. No, you don't need to go into that kind of length.
Yeah. So all right, Spencer, I'm thinking Norse theme, island hop, and cold environment. So, all right, so you have a island hopping tundra Norse game. There you go. Create a village that they're going to start in and start from there. Like, don't do everything. Like, your players may decide to hate it, and you may be done in 3 sessions. So, I would not do the world building for world building's sake unless you enjoy it. If you enjoy it, by all means, knock yourself out. But you don't need to. You can still have fun without it, and it creates these open spaces for you to make new things, for your players to add to the world. There's a lot of good reasons for you to not make as much. If you want to get detailed on the microscopic level of where they're going to spend a lot of time, and then kind of build out from there.
So you take your island hopping, tundra world, Viking game, and you make that area, and you play that for 3 or 4 sessions, and the player's like, all right, I don't want to do that game anymore. We're going to go off and we're going to play this thing here, and you might find out that these little worlds that you're building, well, they're all part of the bigger campaign world, and you just have to plop down where those things are. And next thing you know, you've played, for the last couple of years, and in doing so, you kind of build your campaign setting.
Then you can also drop small hints of there being some kind of conflict, like maybe the people that usually work with grains to make different food items, they're not getting the grains, or the grains are more expensive. Well, that's affecting like how the market works in that area, because it's driving up the price of the end result of food goods. So maybe they want to find out about that. Maybe they don't, but it's out there, and it kind of makes it not so it's just bland everything. So you have something like that. Maybe the town guard or the people that guard the coast are annoyed with wages or something, and maybe down the line you can figure out that, well, that's because this person's really a problem. There's some noble that's trying to take over the region, and he's overtaxing farmers or doing something like that. But you don't have to think about that right now. Right now, you're just trying to lay the foundation for there's some kind of conflict, and be kind of amorphous with it. That's how I would go with it. And then whatever they grab a hold of and show interest in, you can kind of say, well, is that going to lead to a big bad? Is that going to lead to a little tiny adventure or encounter that you can kind of like start mapping out the world? And they're gonna ask questions, and you're gonna just, if you think of answers on the fly, eventually you can kind of like link that all together into something.
Take a lot of notes.
And if you're
take a lot of notes.
And if you're not good at coming up on the fly, and a player asks a question, you can say, you know what, I have to figure that out. Can we come back to that question? And then write yourself a note. You wind up coming back to it later.
Or if you're at the base of getting stuck on people's names, it's no big deal. They're either going to, whatever they do, like the name, hate the name, it's the name of the person. So, if you need a name for the NPC, just go with it. If you got to randomly roll to get through it, okay. Or you can say like, oh, well, you've known this blacksmith for a while. What's his name? And throw it back on the player. Be like, the player knows the name of this blacksmith. He'll tell you.
Sometimes that is the easiest thing to do, is to just have your players give you the information that they're looking for.
So we got Timothy Phipps. Hey Dave, could you see a walking stick sword cane as a spell focus for a no wizard? I would allow it in my game with a yes, but it would have to be in cane form, and it would have to be that it doesn't make a very good club. Or maybe the club part would be okay, but here's the thing: the only caveat is I wouldn't want to not step on the toes of the warcaster feet. So that would be my only caveat. So yes, but it really has to be together when you use it as such. And the focus is the whole sword cane, not the sheath and not the sword.
Yeah. So if you're fighting with the sword part, you're going to have to go and then
cast your spell.
Which you get a free interact with object on your turn, so it's not really that big a deal to sheath or unsheath a sword before or after attacks.
You're just going to do both.
Correct.
In one round, unless could you use your bonus action to sheath, right?
By raw, I am not sure.
By raw, I don't think so, but
because they're special types of actions.
Yes.
But I know as an attack action you can draw. So, Overlord of Midgard. In my game, the PC's got a genie wish to reward as a reward. Long story short, human barbarian is now walking around as a skeleton in a city where undead are actively hunted by local priest. Wow, why is there so many dead? They have to hunt them. Undead, they said they hunt them. My tip there is it sounds like there's going to be a new adventure where the local priests are hunting your barbarian. Pretty much, like, your actions have consequences, and if for whatever reason you're an undead and you're in an area where they hunt undead, well, you are now the hunted.
Maybe there's catacombs and other problems down below, and they somehow go to the surface, so that's why they're hunted. But whatever the case, yeah, that's part of the adventure now.
Yep.
And don't go around during the day without a face mask on. Like I was horribly deformed by dragon's fire.
Dress in layers.
Yeah.
Okay, so Victor Spaturico wants to know, he's just been recently invited to play a Pathfinder module. We do not really have videos about Pathfinder. We're not that familiar with the system. Dawnforge Cast has like a ton of videos on Pathfinder. There's other channels out there as well, but I don't think anyone has covered it as much as he has. So I would look over there for your Pathfinder needs. You might have to go into his older stuff though, because he does a lot of 5e now. So it's nice to see these guys didn't burn the place down miles away at Origins.
Yeah, everything's under control. We even shot some videos.
And we even saw some videos. Nice. Yeah, the daily live chats. I saw you guys were killing those daily live chats, man. I think maybe we should forget the guests and just have Nate and Ted run them all the time. What do you guys think?
I think it was a lot of fun. And to do it a couple times a week, that would be, like, doable.
Sorry, I'm just trying to sort through here.
Yeah.
From the,
Do you want to do the reveal of giveaway?
Yeah, sure.
All right,
so this month from Gemhammer Games, we have the Deck of Wonder, 100 random spell effects, and the Deck of Illusions, 34 cards of illusionary creatures for use with any D20 system.
And from the Collector's Series of Dungeons & Dragons, we have the Eye Tyrant.
This giveaway is sponsored by awesome staff writer Doug, who picked this up at Origins and said, this would be cool for you guys to give away. Here you go, Dave. Go give it away.
Fresh from Origins.
No, he didn't pick it up there. I saw him there and he gave it to me.
Oh.
Okay, well, at Origins.
So,
at Origins.
A gift from Origins from somebody. From Doug.
I just know that it came back from Origins and was told, add this to the giveaway pile. From Doug.
Love Doug.
And the only way that it's going to be given away is if I get it out quick, because it's a miniature and I want to build it and paint it and what have you. So I have to give it away quick
before he opens it.
It's still sealed in plastic.
Let's see. Where can I find your PO box again? Gnome Wizard needs a new something. So on the website there is a page about giveaways. It's right in the top menu. You guys can look in there, and it will actually have the PO box. Do you happen to know it?
It is PO Box 534 in Woodbury, New Jersey 08096. You must actually put Nerdarchy above the PO box. They don't like it if there's not an addressee.
Oh yeah. You have to put to Nerdarchy or whatever, right?
Yes. Indeed. They need to know who it's going to.
So there you go. There it is. You guys have it if you want to send us anything.
And when will we be doing the announcement for the
first week of July? That Saturday we'll pick the name and say, here it is.
So Joshua Poulin, hey guys, I'm a new DM 2 sessions in, having trouble challenging my players. I've used the DMG XP guide to create deadly encounters, and they destroy them. Any advice? Don't use that guide. It's trash.
So recently, especially so if this happened in Spiders from Mars, it was deadly encounter for a 19th level party.
Nate wants to hug you and cry with you right now.
And I had 5 10th level people go through it, and I added extra creatures compared to what the encounter was ahead of time. So I softened them up a little bit, and it was still not even close to a deadly encounter for 10th level party.
So the thing that you have to factor in is, what is the creature like that you're putting in there? You can put hordes of small creatures in that will give you a massive XP, budget that makes it deadly, and it's not, because
they're inconsequential.
Yeah, because one fireball takes care of 50% of them.
Dave once did an encounter where he was it chokers.
It was chokers.
There's a horde of chokers that were surrounding us. Well, I put up a blade barrier and I took out 50 to 60% of them with one spell. It was a pushover. They were all like pathetic creatures. They were challenged 2 or 3, in comparison to like our 12th level.
I'm totally murdering their party with chokers now. The chokers everywhere have been offended. The god of chokers will come down himself.
Portals from other dimensions line your body.
Yes, because Relian speaks through the voice of Ted.
Yes, he does.
So
gateways just open up all over and they just pour out like water from a fountain.
The GM remembers.
with spinning spiky tentacles.
Yeah. Hands on little rotors.
It'll literally be like Ender's Game at the very end when he corkscrews the ships in order to use them as a weapon themselves.
So what you have to do is you have to factor in the level of the party versus what you're actually putting up against them. I have fought with properly challenging my party, many times, because it's like, okay, well, this should be significant and it's not, or this should be a challenge and it's not. So you want to avoid the trope of, well, I'm just going to give this thing more hit points or have it hit harder, because then that kind of changes a lot of things. So what I found most useful is using multiple creatures, things appearing in waves, and when you feel that you've reached that adequate challenge and it was a fun and interesting encounter for your players, nothing more can show up. And the players get to really feel like, man, we just barely managed to get through that. That was awesome. And they don't know when the waves stop. So it's, I don't know.
We have a few videos, I think, on how to alter encounters, especially behind the scenes, so that the players don't.
Yeah, we've done a couple things.
Yeah, I would take if you can have a copy of the character sheets for the players, or if not, you just want to know their armor class, you want to know their hit bonus, you want to know their hit points, and a general idea of their capabilities. Can they cast Fireball? Can they do this? Can they do that? And the reason why is because what I actually do is go, what is the weakest character? Can this monster take him out with one shot? What is the attack bonus? How often are they going to, can I guess that they're going to hit? So I just compare those kinds of numbers to determine whether or not I think that monster will be a good challenge. And then your players are just going to do things sometimes that you don't anticipate.
Sometimes for good, sometimes for bad.
Yeah, so whatever, it just happens. They're don't worry about it. They're the monsters in the book, right? There's a book full of more monsters. There's other books full of monsters. We got Volo's Guide, Monster Manual, Tome of Beasts. We have the Revenge of the Horde. You got all these monster books, dude. You're not going to run out of monsters to try. You get to try again later, so I wouldn't worry about it.
Ultimate Bestiary, the demon cults and secret societies. Those have some stuff. Ultimate NPCs. There's lots of stuff that's out there that you can get into, and that's only from the well-known publishers. If you get into the stuff on the DMs Guild, you've got even
the
more.
Critter Compendium, which you can find a review of over on the website.
Limitless Adventures. They have a handful of monster PDFs that you can get as well.
Yeah, but overall, the calculator in the book doesn't work very well.
Yes, ignore that. That's not going to help you in any way, shape, or form. Sorry.
I agree with the man. From the road to the farm. Come on, guys, give them thumbs up. Help get exposure for them. Yes, we do appreciate thumbs ups and comments and all that good stuff. It does help with the interactions for YouTube's, which then they will show our stuff to more people, and then we get to hang out with more cool gamers. Let's see. Timothy Phillips, Ted, have you ever used a bag of beans, 101 beans? That's oddly specific.
I'm not familiar with what that is, so I'm going to say no.
Yeah, probably not. A bag of tricks. I mean, I think they've come up in our game. Where you have the fur balls in them, you throw out and they turn into monsters or whatever. Then again, there's been a lot of stuff to come up over the years. Let's see. Okay, so that's just more information. Get more. They're giving more information about the game that's going on. That's already happened. Thank you for your advice. You're welcome, Joshua. It's kind of what we're here for.
Indeed.
Let's see. We got Death by Monkey. I like that name, that screen name. I'm going. I actually tried to do that to my players too. It just didn't work out for me. They didn't die. I'm going to be running a game where the princess is kidnapped by some powerful fae to make her his bride, and the princess's mom, his grieving heart, is actually freezing the world. How do you think that sounds?
Sounds pretty cool. I would just avoid the fae creature being a giant spiky turtle.
Or maybe not. Maybe a humanoid giant spiky turtle is exactly what your game needs. I feel like I like that stuff, especially if you don't really say what it is right away. You kind of allude to it. You could do a whole Mario theme, and just slowly build up to it. You know, come on, dude, attack them with mushroom guys and turtle guys.
Well, yeah, once they enter the Feywild, all bets are off for reality. You know, they could all have all kinds of stuff.
And you know, see how long it takes them to realize that they're literally playing Mario Brothers.
Instead of being, you know, pipes, they could be portals.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you can do a lot of fun things with that. You know, not that you're asking us how to play Mario.
Mario theme.
Listen, we're here to give advice. We didn't say it was good advice. We just said we would give advice, and that we like doing it.
Have we crossed our threshold yet?
Which one? The halfway mark?
Yeah.
We have. If we want to start the roll call, we can. I was just reading the question. I'm just trying to remember all the things we're supposed to talk about. I think there's a list somewhere.
Actually, this time there's not a list.
There's not a list.
There's not a list.
We're just going to.
I blame yourself.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, blame me. If it comes to a list, it's always my fault. It's just...
Yeah. While we're waiting for the roll call to start coming in, I want to thank all the patrons and all you guys that use our Amazon links and other affiliate links, as well as you guys that just hang out, like, share, comment on our videos. Without you, we'd just be screaming at the void. So,
talking to ourselves, talking to the internet that's not watching us.
Yeah. Did any of you guys catch the Starfinder game Ted was in? That was pretty cool. Me and Doug actually caught quite a bit of it in the room because it was like the night before Origin, so we're just kind of hanging out doing our other work while that was going on. It was actually kind of distracting because I should have been doing more Nerdarchy stuff, but some of the stuff I just can't do while listening to stuff.
I liked it. It was cool to catch it and kind of like try and think about, you know, the rules, mechanics behind it.
Oh, nice. Spider 34. Big thanks to Dave for adding my drink to the game. He used my gelatinous cube goose shot. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. I had to throw it in there.
Was that in the Scarlet Sisterhood?
It was. We got Tom in Seymour, Indiana. We got a thumbs up. We got George in the house with DSDJKK. We got Spider 34 in New York City. We got the man from Road to the Farm, Idaho. We got Joshua Poland in Colorado. We got Heavy Armored Mage, Shady Side of Ohio. We got Patrick coming in from Sweden. Nice. We got Spencer Smith, Ohio. We do seem to have like a large concentration in Ohio for some reason. Doug. We've got Cleveland. We got, I don't know how to say that. Adducci is in Malaysia. Oh, awesome. That might be our first Malaysia. I'm not entirely sure. Timothy Phipps is in West Michigan. We got Joshua Pitcher, the Plane of Fire.
Nice.
No. We got...
Was it Arizona?
Jasu Callie's in the house. We've got Ninetail 1717 is in Oklahoma. This one...
Is that for musical?
This one is pretty close. We got Allentown with Leicester, either Allentown, well, depending, right? There's Allentown, PA, but there is also an Allentown, New Jersey.
Is there?
I did not know.
Now you know. We got DM Steve in Saskatoon, Canada.
Saskatchewan,
something like that. I don't speak Canadian, dude. Bust my balls. We got the doctor in Nebraska. We got near 924 Massachusetts in the house. We got Joker Echo in Bergen County, New Jersey. Nice. You're just up the turnpike. Arizona in the house with Jonathan. We have James Callie here, another Callie. Nice. LOL, figured Arizona. I didn't miss that heat much. So the roll call is in, and I keep
like, no, I can't take another beating.
Our wonderful sign that
Scott
Frega made for us.
And hand delivered, mind you.
And hand delivered, which is pretty awesome.
3-hour
drive to give it to us.
So it looks like we got a bunch of people watching. There's almost 50 people in there watching right now, hanging out Saturday afternoon, which is pretty awesome. Who's gaming tonight? You guys going to rock your game tonight? We were supposed to play some Star Wars tonight, but unexpectedly, that's not going to be happening. Oh, you know what? That reminds me of one of the things I definitely wanted to mention. Guys, we had been working on a short notice, super awesome convention we were going to put on, but we are not putting it on now. It happened. We got the email when I was actually on my way to Origins, and the Atlantic City Expo people, who were the ones that were going to let us use the space, sent the email, and they were like, "Our council has advised us, due to unforeseen health concerns, for the unforeseeable future, to not use the space," or something along those lines.
So, long story short, we can't use the space.
The plug has been pulled.
The plug's been pulled.
That baby's going to die.
That thing is, it's done. We have the list of all the people that we talked to, and Nerdarchy still has the desire to do a convention at some point in time. But if we're going to do it, we're going to try and do it right. We were presented a space, and we're like, we should use this. Let's go full steam ahead. The three of us, as well as others who got involved, we really were pushing to make this happen. And
yeah, we had like 3-4 workshops lined up. We had 2 screenings donated, of Dyson Men, and American Board Game Documentary was the other one. And it turned out like the guy that's actually in that video was going to be able to be there. So he would have did a Q&A afterwards, which would have been cool.
Yeah. We had performers lined up. We had demonstrators lined up. We had 8 GMs already on the docket. And like actually a couple of them were like, dude, I am so all over this. This one guy was like, look, I want to run nonstop. I've done 36 hours of straight gaming. Do I have to take breaks? Can I just keep this going? I had another GM who was like really itching to be like, okay, I want to run this system. I want to run this system. I'm going to do this kind of style game here. I want to do this style game here. Give me more information. What are my time slots? And I'm like, whoa, calm down here.
Yeah, I mean, we had people coming from Maryland. We had people coming from Ohio. DM Scotty was even going to come out, and he was going to do a panel.
So
he was going to run games.
I was super excited to, be able to meet DM Scotty, be able to sit on this panel. A lot of things all in the works, and sadly it fell apart.
Yeah, for right now, it is not meant to be. But we're going to figure out when we can actually make it.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do something in the future. I mean, we were told you can't run an event in Atlantic City, and that it wasn't enough time. So it kind of made us like, man, F you guys. We're going to totally do this, and we're going to kill it. And it was looking like it was going to be really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if attendees would have showed up, but like the other stuff seemed like really cool.
Yeah,
well, it would have been awesome for us.
Some people need more than a month notice to be able to get everything in order to be able to go somewhere.
It was gonna be great.
So, but you know what? In the future, we are going to do something. We're going to do it for real. And this time, we'll actually have time to plan, plot, and put something together.
Yeah, we already had issues with going through some of the stumbling blocks, so we're more prepared.
Absolutely, yeah. We have our our data has been pulled, and we know, all right, if we go to these people are highly interested. Even some of the people that I got regrets from, I was like, look, if we do this in the future, are you interested? And they're like, oh, absolutely, yes, please. Keep me on the list. So I'm like, all right, you're on the list.
So super sweet. Staff writer Doug gets to play in a game tonight because one of his players has been inspired to run a game by watching Nerdarchy videos. Woo!
Nice.
And that's also like one of the highest compliments where like someone's like, hey, we came back into the hobby because we saw your videos, or I've always been a player, but now I'm going to run because I've been listening to you guys talk about it. Now it seems easy. And so all that stuff is a huge feather in our caps. We love hearing about that and inspiring you guys. One of the awesome things at Origins was actually getting to meet like a bunch of the fans.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my biggest regrets about Origins is when I saw people like either tweeting or messaging afterwards. They're like, "Oh, I wish I would have had a chance to meet up with you. I was there." So for Gen Con, we're gonna have to come up with a system for you guys to get on some kind of list that we can go, okay, we can let you guys know that where we're going to meet up, what we're going to do. We literally had enough people. We could have ran like 2-3 tables.
Easiest thing to do is send us an email at nerdarchy@gmail.com. Let us know, are you going to be there? Dave is going to Origin. He's going to Gen Con. So it's the same deal. You contact us, we can let you know where things are going to happen, and we'll be able to go with that. And the same holds true with anyone in the California area or willingness to travel to California. We're doing this trip to get on Geek and Sundry with Satine Phoenix. We're going to have some time to do local stuff. So
we're supposed to we're supposed to get in around like 8 o'clock Wednesday night is what we're looking at from the flight schedules, and not leaving until like 9 o'clock Monday night, which is cool because that means up until like 7 o'clock on Monday we could easily do stuff and have plenty of time to get to the airport.
So the way I see it, we've got all of Friday and all of Sunday with nothing on the potential agenda at this point in time. Those are, completely the weekend stuff, so we could easily get some games going. The question is what are you guys doing?
Yeah, and if you would like to reach out to us and you're in that area and help facilitate it, that would be great, because if we can actually have boots on the ground there, being like, oh, this is a good place to hang out, or this comic book or game store owner would probably be happy to have you guys come occupy some space here. Like that kind of stuff would be super helpful. I saw something about Gen Con. Gen Con, the mecca of D&D cons. Yes, I will be there. My son will be there, and staff writer Doug will be there. So we definitely want to set things up so that we can meet up with you guys and hang out, maybe throw some funny shaped dice. I can run a game, or I can play in your game, or something along those lines. We figure it out.
Absolutely.
The whole point in going to the cons and being places is so we can hang out with you guys. Also, I'm not sure how many of us, but I will at the very least be at the AtCon event on the East Coast to represent. So that is July 8th in Boston, I believe. So there.
The rest of us are kind of up in the air at the moment, still undecided as to what's actually transpiring.
Yeah, the event starts at 1, so I plan on getting there at 1. I'm not sure how long I'm going to hang out for, but I'll definitely be there for a few hours at the very least. Maybe run a game or two, maybe playing some games. I don't know, sign some player handbooks, whatever it takes. And hey, you know what I learned from going to Origins too? We got a lot of really tall fans. I took some of the pictures I took. I'm like, hey, as I wrap my arm around their waist. Got to put my arm up so I'm not grabbing around their ass. Like the one cat was like 6'5".
Wow.
I'm like, man, you are really tall.
It's all that dwarf blood.
Drinking dwarf blood. That's how they got the research.
No.
That's why I'm so short.
I thought that would be an interesting twist on some kind of vampire group of really lanky vampires.
DSDJKK 6'3" here. Yeah, I think Professor Bill is 6'3" too. He's another big guy. And it's funny too because we interact with all these people on the internet, on Google Hangouts. They're all like this big, right? We're all like at the same height, so it's not a big deal. Then you meet them in person, and they're much bigger. Even Dan Dillon was a pretty big guy as well, which was cool. I got to hang out with some folks from Kobold Press.
Oh, nice.
Dan Dillon, and then I met Steve Rowe. Both of those guys were working the game room for Kobold Press, running games. And Stephen Rowe, actually, I want to give him a shout out and thank you, because after they were done for the day, he actually ran a game just for us. So it was me and Doug and Megan and her brother Max and her fiance Josh. Yes. So that was really cool. We got to play some Pathfinder, which I literally have not played Pathfinder in years.
Yep.
And it inspired 3 videos that me and Doug went and shot afterwards. Although I think now, in hindsight, I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't shoot it in the D&D area, because I had all kinds of cool murals, and there was this huge entryway, and then you actually had the game room, and there was murals all over it. Definitely the the green devil face.
Ooh, nice.
Was one of them. Me and Doug got a picture in front of it. Man, that would have been a good place to shoot the videos. My concern was sound.
Yeah.
Was sound, and it was lighting. Am I going to need a place to plug into? So I kind of tried to pick an area. I could actually accommodate the different things if I needed to, but it was super clinical and boring. So I was a little disappointed with that. Our road game will get better. One day, it shall.
The more we do is, the more more things will improve.
Screw you, DSDJKK. He's like Danny DeVito. I wish I had his wallet.
So is DSDJKK now your not favorite username? And I know you love saying that one.
Nah, he's good anyway. I bust a lot of balls, so I can take it. I can take it. Me and him, we can reenact twins. Although I might say it and be like, you're no Arnold Schwarzenegger, that's for sure. Or maybe you are. Do you even lift, bro? I think I answered a comment today because from your game, actually. Since I figured I would look at the comments over there since, it's been forever since we put something up.
Right.
And someone was commenting about, you mentioned how long the game's been running. And then they like ramble off, well, this is only session 30, Ted. Do you even game, bro? He's like, I'm on like session 70 for our game. Well, it's like, well, it's all relative. That's the difference between a once a month game and a once a week game.
Oh,
It's like if we were doing it weekly, it'd be like 150 sessions. We'd all be like 30th level. You should have made that happen, Ted. I'm so disappointed now. I could have been at 30th level.
Yeah, we should be playing tonight.
Actually, I'm gonna go watch things explode.
Fireworks. Where is their fireworks?
Woodbury.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Score. They're a little early. The 4th of July is next month, right?
Not even next
They're
week,
like
I guess.
sneak attacks with the fireworks.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I don't get to play Star Wars, but I can go watch fireworks. So
Well, the nice thing about that is having him staggered. You can go to fireworks for a few weeks.
Indeed.
DSDKK starting to like the Ghostwise gnome too. Don't you mean halfling?
Yeah, it's Ghostwise Halfling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, there's definitely a Ghostwise.
There's
halfling.
a halfling. I mean, there's a.
In the skag, it's like a little
what's
blip.
the gnome? No, okay, just halfling.
Yeah. Now, if you go back to the box set, it was like Talatis, something like that. It was Dragonlance, and they had uber cool. Like there was an uber cool Society of Minotaurs there, but even cooler was the Society of Gnomes, and they had this Company of the Dead. And like the ritual was when you were accepted into the Company of the Dead, they actually would hold your funeral rites for you, and from that day on, everyone considered you were dead to everybody, and they were dead to you. The only people that actually exist to you are the other members of the Company of the Dead.
Wow.
So they're pretty hardcore.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
DSDKJKK halfling. Yeah, we know. It's cool. It happens. Although, why don't you make the Ghostwise gnomes now? Yeah. What do they look like? Ghost-faced killers. Stone cold. What's up, man?
You.
So we have like 7 minutes left to stream this thing. I mean, we might have started a couple minutes late. We also have some videos to shoot today, guys. We might still need video ideas. What do you guys want a video shot on? We may or may not do it. Like if you, within the next 7 minutes, if you give us an idea, we may actually use your idea, or not. Ted has gotten the pen and paper. God damn it!
It could be a thing.
Timothy Phillips, your thoughts on a variant human fighter with magic initiate and the urchin background multi-class at first level? Sounds like fun to me.
So variant human urchin fighter with magic initiate.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he has multi-class in there.
Well, because you've got
I think the magic initiate, but yeah.
You got the cantrips, you got the first level spell.
I love the magic initiate for that, where like maybe you want to play a character that you don't really want to be full on multi-class, but you just want a little bit of a flavor, or even if you plan on going into it later, if you start off as human, you can literally say I'm the thing because you took warlock or you took cleric or whatever. Well, you have some of the abilities.
You're pretty much like baby Eldritch Knight.
Yeah. So like with your game, I have a cleric who's got magic initiate and a ritualist. So like I can handle a lot of wizardy things. Being a knowledge cleric, I've got expertise in arcane, so now knowledge arcana. So it's like, all right, I can handle all the wizardy stuff except for the boom spells.
Yes. Also, shout out to Staff Writer Doug's been doing a lot of our Twitch for us, or not Twitch. We don't do any Twitch yet. You guys want to see us still Twitch? Would you go follow us over there and watch Twitter? He's been doing a lot of our Twitter for us, and he's been blowing it up over there. He's put out some really great thought-provoking tweets, such as his elevator pitch adventure ideas at 140 characters or less. Plenty at Nerdarchy fan ideas from Twitter and Facebook. Yeah, I did check a lot of those out. There was a lot of good ones, and there also was a few that were straight up no's, like, you guys are insane. You know who you are. Get a little crazy over there.
So for those of you, you know, who've been hanging out with us for a while, you know, I'm taking our Instagram account and actually doing stuff over there. So I'm sharing a lot of the miniatures and stuff that I have, trying to actually get more painting done. I was inspired by a video I saw that somebody did as a joke thing to be like, oh, you know, look at all these miniatures. They don't have paint jobs. So I'm trying to actually get more stuff done.
Yeah, I saw that. It was kind of like a, you know, please help.
Yes. So if you're following us on Instagram, you know, come check out some of the paint job stuff, and you know, you actually kind of get, you know, an insight into, you know, what's going off in my world as I'm, you know, like, oh, this is what I got in the mail today. This is, you know, this is what I'm painting and working on and what have you. So it's all nerdy stuff, all related.
Here's a great one. The man from the road to the farm. How you lay out your homebrew when creating the story. I don't know how Ted does it, but I'd be like, you see these 3 sentences I wrote down? and go. Literally, I ran a game for these guys of Open Legend, and I'm like, here, you want to see my notes? And it was like 3 words on a piece of paper. They're like, how did you get all that from that? Like, you know, I do stuff.
So it happens. It's kind of the way I've you know, been running myself lately. I was literally having a conversation with your son David on Thursday, and like he was like talking, because I was trying to egg him on to eventually, you know, run a game himself, because he's almost 17. He's been gaming with us for years now, so he should begin thinking on that process. And he's like, I don't know, man. You know, I kind of seen what you've done, and it's kind of a little intimidating. You know, the one session I thought was absolutely fantastic, and when the session was over, and people were commenting like, "Oh, what did you do to prep for this?" And you know, you laid out your notebook and you had 17 words written down, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's actually must have been a lot planned for that one. It's usually 1 or 2 sentences, and I'm good to go."
Meanwhile, my last adventure I just ran was off of a pre-written thing that I had written already. So, and I had things down to, you know, what does the arcanic kind of construct, what's it called, and what's the acronym called, you know, like all that kind of stuff. So I had quite a bit written down, including descriptions and like, you know, how the rooms are laid out and everything.
So there's some fun things in here. Heavy Armor Mage, video idea, Furbolg Beastmaster build. Tom Harris, a wizard creates a bunch of clones, and they all will wake up even though the wizard is not dead. That sounds like a great campaign. It also reminds me a little bit of the Finderstone trilogy, because there's definitely some weird things that happen on clones in that, but you didn't find that out until later in the series. Staff Writer Doug, Ted is kicking butt on Instagram. Yes, he is.
Well, thank you, Doug.
Near 24. Wood Elf, Light Cleric, Draconic Bloodline multiclass.
So Wood Elf, Draconic?
Wood Elf, Light Cleric, Draconic Bloodline multiclass. This one actually could be pretty fun. And I like it when you guys give us this more so, because it's like we have to figure it out, right? Where the other ones are kind of like, you kind of like told us the thing to talk about. But this one from Heavy Armor Mage is video idea, Master of Deception build. Like, that's good because we actually have to do a little thinking here. Timothy Phipps, Dave, Urchin background gives you regular. Yes, Urchin is awesome that way. And let's not overlook the mouse.
Yes. Getting a little rodent.
The man from Road to Farm. How do you organize your thoughts to finish prepping for a game? Which we kind of answered that a little bit. Our group is just very like shoot from the hip kind of, you know, thing, especially on my live stream games, because they're so short. You know, it's only 2 hours, and my players generally give me a lot to work with and do crazy stuff that I wasn't expecting.
You get four or five players talking and role playing. You know, you put in one combat. There's your session. Pretty much, and then they run away from it. And they circumnavigate that one.
Like, now it's a chase session for the encounter.
DSD JKK video idea: halfling wizards riding half orc barbarians. So you want an army of master blasters? Is that what I'm hearing?
Do they have hand crossbows?
They could.
If it's the right type of halfling, they could actually hide behind and then come back and sneak attack.
Well, and they all have that racial feat that allows the half orc to roll at once.
Yeah,
There you go.
The man, ha ha ha, not me. I need more experience than a few words to run on. That's all right, brother. You'll get there. Keep going. Also, maybe build some things in where you have to be, where maybe you just build and to be honest, like I did start with like this loose structure that I used to, like I went from, and I know I'm all over the place right now, but let me take a second. I'll condense my thoughts. I went from writing everything out as if I was writing a module to doing more like flow charts with maybe a couple encounters here and there right now, and some loose thoughts just on a page to now like maybe it's just some loose thoughts on a page kind of run.
All of us, have been gaming together for more than 2 decades. So we're at a point where not only are we familiar with each other, but we've learned from each other. We've learned from other GMs and other players that are out there. And, I don't know about these guys, but I continue to take in and it's like, oh, well, this is what, this DM is doing. This is what this GM is doing. Okay, well, do I like that? Do I not? So I'm constantly evaluating what happens at other games and how it's going to influence how I game. And I've learned loads from other GMs just from, the time frame after Nerdarchy started. So I keep taking these little tidbits and trying to constantly up my game because that's what it's there for. And that's what I'm trying to do. So don't ever think, oh, well, I can't do this or I can't do that. You try your best and you go out there and you have fun.
A good point in case is I think I'm the oldest. I know I'm the oldest GM at our table, and I've been gaming the longest and GMing the longest. But the man said, like the flowchart idea. I actually think I stole that from Nate. I think it was something Ted told me Nate does. I was like, what? Actually, that's a really good idea. So I might have like a central thing that either happens or person, and then I might have 3 branches off of it that I could just think of. And even if you don't flesh out all of those things, but you just write ideas where it could go, and with these splits, at least your mind has already begun to conceive and think of these things. So when the players do go off on those offshoots, you can react much easier, even if everything isn't right now, or if they go in a way that you didn't think of. There might be a way to tie it back into one of those trees that you've already created.
Right.
And that comes from experience and going through it and experiencing it yourself. For example, if you take like a den of kobolds and you're like, okay, well, it starts under a tree, that's where I'm going to start it, and it goes down into a den, and you might have to draw out that entire den to start the first time you do something like that with kobolds or goblins or something. But as you go along, you can just say, oh, well, it's a den of kobolds. I'll just fill in the rest of this stuff when I feel like it. And you can just, as you're going and laying things out, you can basically take what you remember from different encounters with kobolds or with similar creatures, and you can say, oh, I want to put that in right now. Or, so you start developing a bank of different ideas and concepts rather than, so you can just write den of kobolds, and eventually you can be like, it's kobold encounter. Maybe I'll change it from a den when I feel like it, but at the time, you don't need to write all that stuff down, where before you may have to kind of build up that bank of ideas in your mind by putting it all, laying it all out there. And it helps you focus on things, especially if you're like new to a rule set. It helps you because you can focus on getting the rules correct, and then you have everything all pre-planned.
And the other thing to look at is the amount of resources that are out there, the number of map generators, NPC generators, random tables of things. Within the last week or so, I actually found here's a list of 100 drinks to put into your tavern. And I'm like, this is really cool. I'd like to do something with this. And it's completely set up for 5th edition. It's a free download that you can just go get. And it's got, oh, well, this is just a drink. It's flavored like this. To, oh, you drink it. Make a DC such and such. Here's the effects, pass or fail. It's pretty hysterical. And I'm like, this is really great. I want to do something with this now. So.
TSDJK, I think he's saying he'd like to see a video of us going to the hobby store, to buy brushes and paints to paint the new the new bone set. I think that video ends me like multicolored somehow. Paintbrush stuck through my beard. unfortunately, we just don't have the production value yet to do really cool things like that. That would be nice if we did get to the point where we could actually have a film crew and we could do crazy shit like that. But right now, unfortunately, we do all the stuff ourselves, and we're not even really all that good at it. So we're not there yet. Someday, though, we might. How would you guys like to do us to do a video on the 5 Ws? I mean, we've talked about it before, and we could kind of like break it down in the sense of, how you can apply it to gaming and writing your adventures, and really like, those 5 you could get like 5 sentences from that. And to me, that's more than enough to either run a game or build a campaign off of, in my opinion. If you guys would like, we could probably shoot a video on that in the near future, as in like when we're done this, or within the coming weeks or whatever. Yeah. But it would definitely be a good idea. So we're at that point. We are past the hour mark, even with us starting a little late, I think. If you guys are putting stuff in the chat, I will leave the chat open, so we'll be able to go back to it and see what you guys put there for suggestions, and we'll write those down as well. No promises we'll get to all of them, but the really good ones, or the ones that intrigue us, will definitely go on the list for sure. So again, thanks everyone who was a Patreon or is a Patreon. Thank you for using our affiliate links. And yes, of course, if you click on a link from Nerdarchy and go buy something, there's a good possibility we got compensated. A little disclaimer there. For everyone that has supported us on the GoFundMe thus far, thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. You're really helping ease the burden upon us, Nerdarchy, and our families for us to go out to LA. It's not easy. And thank you for everyone who shared. And if you can give, please do. Just thank you guys for everything you do. We really do appreciate you. Until next time, stay nerdy. Clicker to turn it off. For stock all night forever.